This is another household, again, showing sort of the setup. These people, they had a cable box, but they also had a Blu-ray player that's connected that they watch Netflix on. And then, of course, everybody has their own mobile device. So it gives you an idea that there's, some TV viewing as well as a second screen. So while they're in the same room, they may not necessarily all be paying attention to the same content. And so again, what we've came up with is sort of how do people choose a viewing strategy? How do they go about picking the device and the service? And we have this sort of semi-Venn diagram thing that basically 5 things feed in: the content, what types of screens they have, screens to use, the screen availability, so is somebody else using it at the time, or do they have a Wi-Fi connection that they could use perhaps for a tablet out of home? The group dynamics, who's in the room with them, are they viewing alone or with other people? The time, what's the time of day, how much time do they have to view? So all these things sort of feed into that viewing strategy. And here's, again, with another photo, an example of a viewing strategy, and this one that we called Together but Viewing Separately. So we have the mother down in the right-hand corner. She's watching a rerun of Cash Cab on over-the-air TV on a broadcast affiliate. We've got two of the kids sitting on the couch using a tablet playing a game, and then another older son on the other couch who's watching Netflix on his laptop, but he wants to be with his family. So again, they're together, but they're all have different media activities. This example we call social viewing, and for the picture illustrating this, we have this family with a very large screen in this apparently very narrow room. They're watching. They're watching TV on the large one, and then this friend of theirs that apparently comes over quite often, he constantly cruises through YouTube. He's a YouTube viewer beyond belief, apparently. And then when he finds something that he thinks will entertain people, they have a connection that he will put it up on the big screen. So that's sort of the social viewing situation. This one is a single source and many uses. So basically, this young man has he uses a PS2 hooked up to his TV set for most of his activity, viewing activity. He'll occasionally use the laptop that you see in the desk in the foreground, but basically, like I said, he has the PS2 that he uses for most of his viewing. And then this family, sorry, the picture's kind of grainy. Is viewing immersion, and I have to admit this, I love this particular room because they have their own dedicated television set in the corner, up on the top, that they constantly run sports on and check the scores while they're watching something else on the big screen. So I'm not quite sure I'll convince my wife to do this, but again, with the immersion thought. They're not only are they immersed in video, but you also have this one household member at the bottom is constantly doing social media related to the television program they're watching. So that's the immersion example. And then another aspect the researchers came up with is called hyperviewing, which by coincidence, I guess this is the name of this particular path today at this conference. But this is, and no surprise here really, people will definitely go out of their way to try new ways of viewing when it comes around events, whether it's the Super Bowl or the Academy Awards, those types of things. The Olympics, I know NBC has always done a lot around trying to get people to do, use more of their new media during that period. And people are open to doing that. They do take that opportunity to explore and try some of these new things that they may not normally do for a regular television program.
Let me talk to the business impact and implications. The impact is huge because what this is intended to do is to go to how do we measure. We didn't observe to learn just for marketplace interest in what people do, but we're looking ultimately to inform what Nielsen does. I see Eric Solomon in the room from Nielsen. He's familiar with the presentation. So it's designed to improve their techniques, and we're in the process now of engaging them to learn, to watch, to test. So that's why we're here. It wasn't designed to say that our network is the best or our methods are the best. We're really questioning all the methods there. So it's of interest to content creators, media companies, consumer electronic companies, et cetera. Another aspect of this, and it's a pretty interesting study in that regard, is we brought together Nielsen and GfK here. And we're used to working in an industry where research companies tell everyone else how much better they are than all the other research companies. So a really big acknowledgement to Nielsen for being willing to fund GfK doing the research, because GfK really has world-class user experience, work expertise, which we drew upon, and an acknowledgement to GfK for standing to help Nielsen with its audience measurement. And the more we see the complexity of the industry and how we're all scrambling and struggling to keep up, it's really great to have research companies working together on behalf of clients. So I think that wasn't the intent of what we're doing, but it does speak to the power of collaboration. Another purpose of this, the CRE in a separate effort, is looking at aligning metrics across platform. How do you compare an impression on mobile to an impression online or impression on a standard TV or a large screen TV, a smart TV, whatever? And so we've engaged that committee of the CRE, which is looking at aligning impressions, to come work with the committee that's been responsible for this ethnography to ask some questions in qualitative research so we then can go out and do some more rigorous quantitative research to see what holds up. So we're in the process of that. Now, this ethnographic laboratory is kind of how I think about it, will continue until October. So we have several more months. I would invite anyone here who has some questions they would like to ask and learn from and think we could all learn from, to send an email, info@Research Excellence, that's the CRE website, info@Research Excellence, and propose some research. We're happy to accept proposals and ideas from anybody, from anywhere. And I have one question before I finish, because this seemed to be a good group to ask, and the question is louder to me at this conference, and it's been pretty loud in my head for a while, which is, what the heck does it mean to watch television anymore? When I watched Leave It to Beaver, I knew what I was doing. I was watching the Cleaver family sitting around the TV and absorbed, and every so often I'd be interrupted with a message from the sponsor, but I'd stay with it. Anymore, I don't know that we know what we're doing. So here's my question for you. And first of all, does everyone have a right hand? If you have a right hand, put it up in the air. And if you don't, put it, okay, good. So we can all do that. Excellent. We're thinking of doing, CRE doing a half day. It'd be a free event. It'd be in New York. It would be web distributed to Nielsen clients. It would be recorded. So even if you're not a Nielsen client, you get to watch it. Addressing that topic. What is it to watch television? So just by a show of hands, who thinks that might be an interesting half day to address? Okay, I'm convinced. I was already convinced. And then maybe we'll do what is it to attend a session at the conference. But thank you for that. Thank you all. It's been a great conference. I'm going to say one thing, just a personal word. If I hear someone else who's younger than me talk about retirement, I'm going to punch him. Because it's such a wonderfully exciting time to be at work in this area that what is that? You know, we're not going to get all the problems solved, but we can have fun doing it. So thank you all for being a great audience.